Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Wyntis Hall Show. Thank you for all tuning in tonight and staying connected. Sorry, we are getting a little late start. We were having a few technical difficulties, but we thank you for still patiently waiting and tuning in with us. Well, tonight, I'm so excited to have my pastor. When you are thinking about interviewing people, pastor has always been on my list for me to be able to sit down and talk to him and ask him some questions. So I'm just finally excited to get him here and to sit him down. So thank you so much for coming. That's my pastor. And then also Pastor Overton.
That's true.
We have a lot of history. We go way back. You have put your feet under my mama's table a few times. So we also have some history here. So I thank you for also coming on tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. So this last week, the Great Lakes Baptist District Association, you all held your 70th annual session, and the topic or the theme was embracing change with a never changing God. Moderator Overton, first vice Pastor Hill. I mean, growing up, moderator, that's a big deal. You know, you following behind uh, Randolph, Pointer, Fuller, Reverend Robs. I mean, Pryor. See, I don't go way back. I don't go that far back past, but yeah, Reverend Pryor started it all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and congratulations first of all.
Thank you so very much.
And that's just a really big deal. And in the Baptist community and the church community, period, it's a powerful position. And I wish you nothing but blessings.
Thank you.
So can you just explain to me and to the Facebook community, embracing change with a never changing God? How did you guys come up with that?
Well, the thought process is that the church continues to evolve. There's so much going on now in the church, especially after the pandemic. The church will never be the same as it was before. Social media has embraced the church, and the church has embraced social media. So the church is always changing. Although the church is changing and the people are changing, God never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore.
Right.
God remains the same. He's always, what we're trying to figure out, God already understands and knows.
Right.
So we have to do some changing in Great Lakes. There's some things that we're doing to revolutionize, bring us up to the 21st century, and get some things going in the proper direction with our district and our association. So we understand that we have to make some adjustments, but we can't adjust God's word.
Right.
I often use the analogy of the Wyntis box.
Okay.
The cereal never changed.
Right.
But they continue to change the cover of the box.
Exactly.
The ingredients on the inside remain the same. It's a top seller, but it sells because they continue to embrace change.
Right.
Michael Jordan's been on there. Joe Montana's been on there. Right. All the greats have an opportunity to go on there. The ingredients never changes, but the box just changes. The packaging of the box.
Absolutely.
So we understand that. So we're now trying to just repackage what we're doing with the same ingredients of God, His Word, standing solid on the foundation of faith that we believe, and just making some changes within ourselves to make our district a better district.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Pastor Hill, what's your take on that? I know I want you to. You always talk about the bait and the hook.
Mm-hmm.
So
and that's basically what he was alluding to when he made that statement. The bait changes because you don't catch every fish with the same bait.
Right.
But the hook is what holds them. And the one thing he talked about evolving is that the church has to evolve to the 21st century. We have to change our language in order to reach our young people. They won't hear the same message that we heard as we came up. But if you don't adjust to that, there's somebody that will adjust and they'll go to them. And so one of the things our moderator has really tried to push in our administration is inclusiveness.
Okay.
And you always try to reach those that have fallen by the wayside and try to bring them back with the message of inclusiveness. And the only way you can include them is really include them, not just say it, but do it.
That's true.
And we have a good, one thing that we've really struggled with in the church, and we're not going to talk about that exclusively, is that we have a hard time separating practice from principle.
Okay.
And see, the practice that your dad and your grandfathers used is different from the practice we use today. But he was talking about the principle stays the same.
Right.
Jesus Christ is still the rock. And we don't change that, but we change the practice. We used to have nothing but paper Bibles in our church.
Right.
But now we have, that was a practice. But now the principle is it's on your telephone.
That's
But
true.
the Bible is still the same.
Right. So that brings me to the topic for today's show. Are we moving in the right direction? Not only spiritually, but we talk about unity. We hear that all the time. You know, the city needs to unify. We as a people need to unify. How? Where do we start with that?
Well, in order to have unity, there first must be a spirit of unity. There is no spirit of unity when you are mastering in division. Just to say unity does not bring unity. Unity comes when you do just what Pastor Hill talked about, being inclusive.
Okay.
We find ourselves continuously excluding people, ostracizing people, and we never can have unity in those environments.
Right.
We have to begin to be inclusive. You might not like me,
Right.
but I have something to offer.
Right.
I might not like another person, but that person has something to offer. So I have to find what that person has to offer, utilize what it has to, or what he or she has to offer, and benefit from it versus destroying the entire person or the entire situation because we have differences. I believe differences make us stronger.
Okay.
Everybody cannot think the same. Everybody should not be the same. But when you talk about unity, we had a unified movement in the city of Flint, and it was broken. It was divided through trickery, through master manipulation,
Yes, sir.
and we've broken. So we're again in broken pieces.
Yes.
Watching Flint and being from Flint all of my life, I've been around politics and just watched. I don't boast about how long I've been around, but I just watch. And as I watch, I'm watching again how we, African Americans, continue to get preyed upon.
Yes, sir.
With so many lies, so many mischiefs of rumors and innuendos, because we're a group of people that like that type of conversation.
Yes, sir.
You know, we like good gossip.
Right. Right.
One of my dear
That's what
friends, he was a
Pastor
pastor.
Hill talk about.
We like some juicy gossip
Right.
that nobody had. You think you're getting a hot off the press, and you think it's factual, only to find out it's really a lie.
Yes.
And then you don't find out it's a lie till on down the road when
Right.
you spread it for 5 or 6 times. And you thought, oh, that was a lie. The one thing the late Dr. W. Terry said to us in the class, he said, never run a lie down. Can't catch it. Lies run so fast. Truth is slow.
Yes. Yes. That Pastor
Truth is slow about getting out, but a lie runs so fast. We have this wonderful young lady, and I'm not saying it because she's my friend. I say it because she's put the work in. She's cared about Flint. She's shown that she cared about Flint. She fought for this community. And then that division came into play.
Right.
That trickery came into play. And a lot of people got hoodwinked. And, you know, I can't blame anyone else but ourselves, because our people died because of lack of knowledge.
Absolutely.
And we need to make sure good information is being put out, honest information is being put out, that our community might thrive and do well. We were on track.
Right.
We were on track to doing some positive and great things in this community, and we got off track. So we just got to get back on track. Are we on track now? I would say no.
Well, you jumping all ahead of me now, Pat. This is my show.
Okay.
You know how the pastors just run on and on and on.
Yeah,
This
you have to shut us up.
Okay.
We step on each other.
Pastor Hill, what's your take on unity?
Well, I'm pretty much like him. You know, you can't talk unity. You have to live unity. And that's one thing that young people really thrive on. See, they can see you when you pull up if you just talking the talk
That's
and
true.
not walking the walk. And you take like for this, what he's trying to do in our district. We have a lot of new pastors.
Right.
Some of them are young in ministry,
Mhm.
and we are reaching out to use the skills that they have. Whereas when we came up, you had to get in line and wait your turn.
Absolutely.
But that was old school thinking.
Mhm.
But because of the way inclusiveness means, bring the guy been here 3 days in and pick his brain and find out how he can help the movement.
Right.
Whereas in years past, we didn't do that. Inclusion means embracing, which is our theme,
Right.
embracing the people and not just talking about it. And I believe that that's why, for the first time in years, that we had such a beautiful association celebration this week.
Yes, you bragged
After
on that
70
a lot.
years,
Yes.
because it seemed to be on point
Mhm.
and moving toward unity in a real sense and not just talk.
That's good. I was really happy to hear that. Great Lakes District is big. You know, a lot of people, they modern their districts after the Great
Mhm.
Lakes District, you know, especially with the simultaneous revival week and everything like that. It's really big. And you guys are definitely putting on the work, put in the work. And I'm excited for the changes that, you know, are going to come. So,
In 2015, the Concerned Pastors for Social Action wanted to get involved to make our name more strengthened.
okay.
And he called me one day, Pastor Overton, and said, "Man, let's try to do something with this water situation. We might be able to bring some strength
Wait
back."
a minute, Pastor, you jumping ahead too.
Okay,
Can we stick to the script?
yeah, we can stick to the script.
Look at my, look at my pastor.
Whenever you get there, I'm not going to forget it.
Look, this is the only time I get to cut off my pastor because this is my show. Wait, I love y'all, but I want to get to each question. They are,
Okay.
all of them are important. So when we talk about unity, we talk about embracing change from a pastoral view, because your churches are in Flint. Your members are in Flint. Your family is in Flint. Your heart is in Flint. Your soul is in Flint. You understand what I'm saying? And so leadership, when we're talking about crime, roads, what's lacking? What do you think Flint is lacking right now at the leadership level?
For me, what I see us lacking, what I think that they lack in the leadership of this current administration, is a real love for people. I think when you love people and you're concerned about the welfare of the people, you do things different because you care about the people.
Right.
This administration has not shown me, has not proven to me that they're more concerned about the people of Flint than versus themselves and individuals in Flint. We need someone that care about the entire city of Flint. This administration has proven to me they're not concerned about the people of Flint, especially the north end of Flint. They're just unconcerned. The thing that happens in this community on the north end of Flint should be appalling. To have an African American man in office, and the thing that's happening, we were on target to bring crime down.
Right.
They have been on target to raise crime up. If you don't police properly, then crime is going to run rapid. If you go back and check the history, there was a group called the Cat Squad.
Yes, I've been hearing about the Cat
Cat
Squad.
Squad was a group of police officers that was undercover that went into hot spots, is what they called it, and shut it down.
And they were real respected and known on the street.
They knew them.
Yeah.
That's the cat. The cat over here.
Right.
Shut it down.
Right.
That's a level of respect that our law enforcement should have. But if all you're doing is just kind of not policing the community and just letting the community just run by itself, it won't police itself.
Right.
And that cat squad was dismantled for no reason why. So when you say you want crime to go down, you explain why the cat squad is not in effect. and that was bringing crime down.
Down.
So you just look and see how the administration has quietly, manipulatively dismantled things that will benefit people. I want Grandma Lucy and Uncle Bud to feel safe at night.
Right, absolutely.
That means we have to do policing of our communities, and that's just not happening. And I just don't see them caring about people in the way that the previous administration cared about people. Kept people informed, talked to people, listened to people, and then tried to act on the people's best interests.
Okay.
And we don't, again, because we exclude those we don't like.
Right.
If
Right.
you're excluding those you don't like, you can't hear from everybody. If the
Absolutely.
only people I want around me are people that say yes to me, I don't have much around me.
There you go.
I need people that don't always agree with me, can articulate their ideas, and then I can make a decision on which way we're going. But I don't need everybody around me that's saying you're doing a great job, because I'm not. I got work to do.
As fast as say, if you are the smartest, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, then it's time for you to find another room.
That's right.
Pastor, leadership. What do you think we're missing in this community?
Well, if you look at leadership in terms of maybe the physical body,
Okay.
and the leadership, everything flows down from the head.
Yes, sir.
But the most important thing is the heart.
Right.
And what I'm saying about that, the heart is the thing that keeps the body alive. When you look at the city of Flint, the heart of Flint is downtown. Stay with me.
Okay.
But if the heart is not pumping blood to those other parts of the body, it's just pumping.
Mm,
Hear me?
I hear you.
And so what he's alluding to in the fact is that we are putting a lot of time in one place, but there's no blood flowing to the other parts of the body.
Right.
And if the blood is not flowing to the other parts of the body, they will die. And he sees a death coming to those areas if you only worry about the heart and not where it's pumping blood to.
Oh, I love that. That was a great analogy. I love that. When I drove down Hamilton today, Christ Fellowship, it's on Hamilton. Have you seen any improvements on roads? I know it hasn't been any road restoration, I don't think, since former Mayor Weaver left office.
I got a big pothole in front of my church. That's been for the last 40 years.
4 years.
It's 4 years.
And I'm hearing that
I shouldn't say for the last two.
Last two.
They did
Okay.
some line work. They
Okay.
left the whole thing. We called several times. They asked for it. They'll come and patch it, but they haven't fixed it. We like to have it fixed, and I know there's other areas in the community that would like to have it fixed, and not so much patchwork. But let's fix our community. We try to keep our property up. I was out this morning walking through, making sure we find out what's not working and keep it up.
Mhm.
We need someone that helps us keep our community up, not help or watch us let it be torn down. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
But you have to have a desire to do that, to make that happen.
Mhm.
It's not by osmosis. And you cannot just wait until it's election time or when people begin to start complaining, because at that time you're almost on life support.
That's true. That's true, Pastor.
And once you get on life support, they're just waiting to pull the plug.
Right.
And what we're trying to do is revitalize this thing through the church into the community, because the community, we're all in this together.
That's true.
And once you forget that, then I said that blood is not flowing to those areas. The next thing you hear about, won't be long. You
Right.
got 6 months of that kind of thing, terminal.
Right. Right. That's true.
You see where I'm going, Brother Moderator? Yeah.
That's all true.
That's true. So, hopefully, the pastors, the concerned pastors, will take a political stand, and endorse a candidate. I don't want to put you on the spot right now, but when you all do endorse a candidate and pick one, I would love for you to come back and let the listening audience know.
As a spiritual group, we don't really endorse a candidate,
Okay.
but we do try to support what's going on in our community to make it known what candidate we think is best for what we're trying to do. So we cannot so much endorse a candidate, but again, I don't endorse anyone. I just tell folks, if I'm voting,
Well, this is what I would do.
I'm voting
Right,
for Ken
right.
Weaver
Okay.
as quick as I can.
Okay. So you're not holding us up. He went ahead and answered my hot seat question. Okay.
It's clear.
Right.
Let's not talk about personalities. Let's not talk about anything. Let's deal with truth and realistic and reality when you compare their records.
And not just because she's your friend.
Not because she's my friend. Compare their records. I don't have anything against Mayor Navy besides the fact he's just not doing a good job as a city of Flint's mayor. You just look at the records, compare the records, and look at the records and say, okay, let's see. I got a letter in the mail Monday saying I'm going to take action and give everybody $300 off for their water bill. It's $300 too late. This mayor came in office saying they should pay their water bills.
Yes.
Because the water is poison.
Mm-hmm.
She got relief immediately, not during election time. And there's so many things that I'm talking to different unions and they're saying, hey, we can't get a deal because he waiting until the election is over. Come on.
Yeah.
So I've already been done. So don't hold these type of things over people's head. We need real leadership in this community that's going to put the people first, that's going to put the employees of the city of Flint first, and move this community forward in a way like we were moving 4 years ago.
Okay. This is a big one. This may take us a minute. When we talk about the water, I know the churches, you have members just crying out for help. Pastor, I know from our church, you were getting water, giving it to the members. I'm sure you had it at Christ. I know you had it at Christ Fellowship because I was up there getting water for my parents, and it was just water pods everywhere. I'm conflicted because I'm hearing from this administration telling me that the water is good, yet they're still passing out water. How big of an impact do you think this water situation had on just your membership, like the church and your family and friends in the city? What do you think about the water, the whole situation?
There's two questions in that. My membership impact has been huge. They don't trust the water, so that's more of their resources they have to spend to buy water because the water is not free anymore like it was before. Second part, you asked about the administration saying it's okay to drink the water. These are some of the same people that told us that water was okay when we were being employed.
Right.
They were doing commercials for the water plant.
Right.
Said, come, look, the water is fine.
We
can drink water.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is saying now the plant was never able to process water to make the water where we can drink it.
Mm-hmm.
So we as a people in this community have to shake ourselves and say, wait a minute, let's not be foolish.
Right.
Who's been telling us the truth? There's people that say a lot. Oh, the riddles, they took money. You want to make black people mad? Tell them somebody got a nickel more than they got.
Yeah.
Somebody that gets us going.
Right.
They took the money. There's no money to take. They're going to jail. They still around. Get ready to run for mayor again. But 4 years ago, they're supposed to be investigated and going to jail. Now, all those kind of shenanigans, we will begin to say, I just don't know. Those are the things I'm talking about. Your first question that keeps us divided. Because we're not trying to bring people together. I win if I can keep you divided. I win if I can keep you angry. I win if you stay at home and don't come vote. I win because there's a group of people that's going to vote no matter what.
Right.
But we are quick to just say, I ain't voting. Mm-hmm. So there's a message and a reason why they do what they do. So when we talk about the water, I get a report on the water because Concerned Pastor Sue, we get the reports on the water. We still have some issues and the work is not even done. The work isn't done. Money is not being accounted for properly. This ain't what I'm saying. It's facts.
One more question. Let me just put a pause right there, if I may. You mentioned the Concerned Pastor's lawsuit. Mm-hmm. I remember because everybody knows a few years ago I was with the other side. Mm-hmm. I remember the biggest lie that was told is that the Concerned Pastors took all of our money from the water lawsuit They all ran off and they rich.
Mhm. We still here, still struggling like everybody else, and that was the biggest lie that was told. We didn't get anything. Initially, we didn't even sue on behalf of the people, so the people could get any money. We were just suing that the water pipes might be changed for health and safety of this community. But again, when you tell that lie,
Right.
and Pastor Hill worked for General Motors, I retired. We have good retirement. Our jobs have treated us well. My church takes care of me well.
Right.
Maybe he did get that money because he got a nice car.
Right.
He got a nice house. Well, I worked for what I got.
Exactly.
I worked my tail off for what I got. I have a family. My family works. Okay.
Right.
But people will easily get a warped thought process with those people that lie. And Wyntis, you know, they told you a lot of lies.
Right.
You
They
shared
did.
those lies.
I
And now you
did.
found out later, I was wrong. I was lying and not knowing this was a lie because it sounds so convincing.
And the lie sounded
It
good.
sounded so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're going to take all the money from the people. They're going to do,
Yeah.
didn't do anything. We had African American contractors working.
Yeah.
Who was hiring African American folks out of the city of Flint.
Yep. And African Americans talking about it, saying that they're not doing their job.
Right. Now who we got?
Not no African Americans.
None.
Right.
None.
And
So-
those African Americans still haven't been paid. That was work.
For work they done.
That was already completed.
For work,
Yes,
and
sir.
then you have African Americans who said, I ain't paying y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just
And
not
that's
gonna pay you. And you talk about unity. There's no unity in that. There's
No.
nothing but division and separation. So, Flint needs leadership that
Absolutely.
care about Flint.
Yes.
We gotta have somebody that care about this community, that love this community, and we gotta stop being led by so much trickery.
Mhm.
This ain't our first rodeo.
Right.
This happened with Woodrow Stanley,
Okay.
one of the greatest men we had. Woodrow was in office, he played the same tricks. He took all this money.
Right.
The feds coming to get him tomorrow.
Right. We've heard that 5 indictments, one for you, one for Dr. Weaver. I mean, we've been hearing that for 4, 5 years now. And you still walking around here looking mighty fine now.
So they
happened.
understand that's what works in our community.
Right.
Right.
A lie.
Yeah.
A lie. Pastor Hill, why? You talk about lies traveling, lies growing legs, and just running
I
off.
asked my pastor one time about rumors.
Mhm.
He said, this Dr. Pointer, he said the reason rumors start because you can't never trace them down. And that's people want to know more than they know.
Mm. That's
So they
powerful.
start a rumor. And
Right.
said, but you can't never trace them down.
Mm.
And so that's why people start them. If they don't know why y'all doing such well in the job, they just start a rumor that you stole the money.
Mhm.
And see, that has legs.
Right.
Yeah.
And it travels.
People want to hear that.
Yeah.
Right.
We like mess.
Yeah, we soak it up.
Yeah.
We love
Yeah, we
mess.
do.
We like mess.
Right. And
So we hear
Pastor
that.
said, just the other Sunday, you said it's not the people on the outside that's stopping us from coming to church. It's the people on the inside.
You know,
I've taken a lot of flack for apologizing to a lady for my wrongdoing. And you think that people would embrace that? We don't. We tear each other down.
We talk about being Christians, but then when we act like Christians, people say, but you shouldn't be a Christian.
Right. Ain't that something?
That's the way of this world. We don't have any forgiveness. We don't show any example for our young people to say, you know what? I made a mistake.
right.
Mhm.
I did.
Right.
I've been the same way you are. I've said some stuff that I shouldn't have said. I'm like, well, I need to go apologize for that.
Right, right,
Man, can I apologize?
right.
And I was wrong. And luckily, the lady was, yes, I received your apology, and she received my apology. But as Christians, we have to say, we're sorry. I made a mistake.
I made a
I
mistake.
shouldn't have flew
Right.
off like that. I'm
Right.
sorry. I got into my flesh, and my flesh was weak at that moment. I apologize. That is the Christian thing to do. And then you took it further, and I commend you for that. That not only did you say I made a mistake and I lied, but let me help you fix what I messed up.
Right.
And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Most people wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
They would just say, I'm sorry, then go off into the clouds and kind of stay back out of it. But you have a determination. You love Flint.
Yes, I do.
You want to see the best in Flint.
Yes.
And
This man right here been working on me and just, opened my eyes and made me a better person.
Good.
Just all the way around a better person. You have to right your wrong.
Yeah.
And the whole time for that year that you were pushing for the other side, you were a member of my church.
Mhm.
And you knew I was with the other side.
Yes.
But I never once said anything to you
No, you
about
didn't.
the road you was taking.
No.
I just kept loving you, and now God took care of the
Yeah.
rest of it. See,
You knew he would. And
He'll
you
do
told me. You told
Yeah.
me. You knew God would.
and you know, but if some people would have been at you week after week
Mhm.
because you were on the other side, but you had to see that for yourself.
Right.
I
I did.
use my grandmother. She would always say, "Just keep on living.
Yeah.
Just keep on waking up and going to bed.
Yeah.
You'll see it better one
Oh,
day,
yeah.
by and by."
Bye.
After a while, and by and by.
After a
That's
while,
true.
your after a
That's
while
true.
came.
Yep, it
Your
did.
by and by came, and I hope that the residents of this community, their by and by is coming and say, "Wait a minute, there's nothing going on in this community,
Mhm.
and if we're not careful, it's gonna get even worse."
It is. It is.
We have to have somebody that's gonna physically speak up to the county
Mhm.
as well as to the state
Yes.
to say we want better. This Karen Weaver took us all the way to Washington, D.C.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And still advocated for us after she, wasn't mayor anymore.
All the way to Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the way to the Democratic Party.
Yes, she did.
All
Yes,
the way.
All the way.
Where have they spoke up for us?
You're right.
Not even on Saginaw and Hamilton, Saginaw,
Right.
Fifth.
Right.
So we have to look at it and say, and be honest with ourselves. People say, "Well, they doing a good job." Where? Show me.
Downtown.
Well, the previous administration did good downtown.
She did.
What was his name? Dane Wallen did good downtown.
Mhm.
We need past downtown.
Right.
We want downtown to be a success. Without a good downtown, we don't have a lot going on. We need to build our downtown. I want our
That's the
downtown to be
heartbeat.
built up.
But it's
We
gotta-
want
but
to
gotta
build-
flow.
but it's gotta spread
It's
out.
gotta flow.
I want the South Side to be more flourishing. I want the North End flourishing. I want to see Flint flourishing. And the only way we do it is we begin to really take care of people and take care of the residents of this community where people feel safe
Right.
and good about being in Flint. If you don't feel safe about being in Flint, you're going to go somewhere else.
Right. And I know as
That's right.
pastors, you all, the heart that you all have, and you got to be so strong. I know you're so tired of burying young people. It used
I'm
to
tired
be
of being anybody.
right.
We buried so many.
Yeah.
We buried so. I got a call yesterday. One of my parishioners died. Is that I'm just tired of seeing people die premature.
Mhm.
In my heart, premature. I know
Right.
God had His own
Right.
timetable, but premature. But we and Flint can do better.
Right.
Yes. Yes,
We can do better.
Yes, we can.
We can do better. I
And
know we can.
I know we can too. And that's why I'm out here advocating all the time. And when we talk about voting, I think, I know that this is one of the most historic elections. Not only do we have 3 African American candidates, we also have the governor's race that's been thrown into the mix. What's your take on that?
Well, I like the governor's race being on the mayor's race because that gets our numbers up. We tend to vote when the
Just the
governor's
top
race
of the
is coming.
Okay.
So I think it'll be beneficial to us and we'll be able to get more people out to vote.
Okay.
Again, even with that, I want to see us get dialed in and challenge our state departments to continue to pour into Flint. There's so much here, but let's pour into make Flint better, the entire community of Flint better. And I believe that the governor will do that if we have the right partners and the right conversation. But if you're not asking, she go where you asking. And I
Right.
don't blame her. I'm going where the heat is.
Right.
If Flint is okay,
Yeah.
everything okay, Flint okay, then I go over here and help
Yeah.
this city.
Yeah.
But we have to have someone that will make the acts to say, hey, Governor, can we do this? And can we get some assistance in this? Because there's some things that the residents of Flint deserve.
Right.
We were poisoned. Let us not forget.
Mhm.
Yet we are doing better, but we were poisoned by government officials.
Exactly.
And because of that, we should be able to walk in the front door and walk out the front door with resources.
Mhm.
Because again, this community have not been stabilized.
No, we have not been made
We
whole
have not
at
been
all.
made whole. We have not been stabilized from the water crisis. So those are the economic resources that we need to pour back into Flint. We need employment back into Flint. We need somebody that's going to advocate for factories and those type of jobs to come back into Flint. We need to train our young people to be nurses and nurses assistants and all those type of things. but we have not been made whole, and we need someone that's willing to go and fight for us to get programs put back in our community. Look at our school system.
Absolutely, the school system.
Look at our school system.
What school system? That's
exactly.
What school system?
So but if they have resources,
Mhm.
we can do something. We deserve new schools in this community.
Yes, we do.
We deserve for the government to come in and say, wait a minute, build them new schools,
Mhm.
give them a new start, so they know that we got new piping and we know we got fresh, clean water running through those schools. They should build new schools for those children so that they can go to school. What is a community without an education?
It's dead.
Mhm.
It's just dead.
And when people relocate, and they look at the educational system before they
Right.
relocate,
Right. Because
We
you
need to
want to move
upgrade
to a
that.
good school
not with
district.
word, but indeed. We need to
Indeed.
see some buildings coming up.
And not just in one part of town. Like put a new school in our side of
On
town.
welfare.
Yeah.
Not a, but several.
Right.
That's where our children are.
Right.
We have a high population of children on North End of Flint.
Yes, we do.
Those children deserve not to have to get on the bus at 6:30 in the morning and go 30 minutes to go to school.
That's
They
true.
ought to be able to go around the corner, up the street like I did, and walk to their school and get their education. We must do better by our community, and we don't have anyone that's speaking up for us.
Nobody.
And that way more important than a $300 water credit. So sometimes we get our priorities mixed up.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because we grab at something like that because that's the ethnicity that we're dealing with. But you need to look beyond a 300 watt. Just shut it down and just give a forgiveness of water,
Right.
and then use that money to upgrade the city.
Right. That's true.
You know,
They can do it if they wanted to. They really
If we
could.
demand it,
That's it. You
We
gotta
demand it,
stand
but
up
you get
for
that
it.
through voting.
they told us the water was okay. We said no, it's not. We fought. We demanded a better system. When we asked, they said we'll never go back to Detroit, but we went back. You have to demand it. Who was that? They said power is never given, but it's taken.
Right.
Lyndon B. Johnson told Dr. King, "You want the civil rights bill? Make me do it."
Mm-hmm.
We have to make them treat our people fairly. We don't want what don't deserve it the way we don't deserve it.
That's true.
We just want to be treated fair.
Right.
I just want somebody who's going to speak up and make sure that my grandchildren have a future in this community. I don't want to see my son was telling me just yesterday, man, I think we're going to move.
Oh
We're
wow.
looking towards getting out of here.
Oh.
I said, man, y'all need to just hang in there a little while longer.
I know
He
how
said-
much you love your grandbaby. So
He
yeah.
said, no, we might have to get up out of here.
And that's sad.
Right. He said, I
That's
want my
sad.
kids to see future.
Right.
I don't want them to see poverty. I want them to see future.
We have people that come here from out of town and they drive through the city like, oh my God, I can't believe you have all these abandoned buildings, all of these abandoned homes, boarded up homes. And it's just mind blowing to me. You know, when I hear about your stories or where you grew up, St. John, it was a community within a community. And we don't have that anymore.
But the leadership at that time was really instrumental in trying to bring the community together.
Mm.
We had block club. Everybody had a block club. Everybody. But it was, and the leadership down, they were all trying to get something for the people. But now we become selfish.
Mm.
And most of the people that we help hit the highway every day at 5 o'clock going back out of here.
Right. That's true. That's very true. We'll give $1 billion to wars, but then we won't help the people here at home. Like,
Yeah, I talk about home mission.
mhm.
We need a home mission. We don't have a home mission. We have no plan to build up our own community.
That's true.
How do we build Flint? Give us one block at a time. Help us build Flint.
That's true.
We got to build Flint.
Right.
I'm not going anywhere.
That's nobody is going anywhere.
I'm here. I'm
Right.
gonna ride it out.
Right.
So I mean, hey, I'm gonna do all I can. I'm gonna be a thorn in their side. They said read your Bible. I am, but I read where God said, "Tell Pharaoh,
Let my people go.
let my people go."
Right.
That's what he said.
Mickey, we're gonna take questions from the audience today. See if they have some questions. How does the church help get the message out to vote? What would you tell the people how important this election is for the city of Flint?
Well, once they put the Bible down, they also have a responsibility to humanity. So once you move that, you got to continue from where him and I stand every week or every time we get a chance to promote going to the polls, because that's how you change things, not by complaining.
Right. Right.
Nothing's happened in the African American community that did not start in the Black church. Every step of progress we've made has started in the black church.
Give me some examples.
The civil rights movement started in the black church. The divorce boycott started in the black church. Everything that we do, the water crisis in Flint started in the black church.
Right.
It started at Saints of God. No, it didn't. It started at Saints of God Church, and then we quickly moved it to Mount Pisgah Church.
Okay.
That's where it started. All our meetings were held at Mount Pisgah Church.
Okay.
It starts in the black church.
Okay.
We have to inform our people. I talked to some pastors who somewhat are concerned about giving their people information.
Because people get on you about church estate.
He sent me to liberate my people. I'm just not here to preach the gospel. I'm here to preach the gospel through liberation.
Right.
I have to liberate my people and tell them the truth about the word of God, and then about this world that we live in.
That's right.
They have to know the truth. The totality of man. We are dying because of lack of knowledge. We have to tell our people, inform our people about what's good and what's bad. You're going to always have some people that's going to say, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I know. But I won't be held accountable for saying, well, Pastor, you didn't tell us.
Right.
You didn't tell us that was a snake over there. You didn't tell us that snake was under the rock was going to bite me. I told you. I told you I don't walk over there.
Right.
Now, you went over there and you got bit. That's not my fault. Because I told you, now, if you move that rock to the left, it's a snake under there. I have a responsibility to tell my people. I'm not making any choices for them. I just give them the truth. And the truth is, everybody has a record.
That's true.
And one thing that he mentioned earlier about we have to separate lies from the truth. And what happened many times is that we don't tell our people the truth about what's going on. And
well, the truth don't sound pretty.
it never does, but it sets you free.
That's
Right.
true. That's true.
And you can make good decisions when you know the truth. If you knew the truth, you wouldn't have been on that side.
No, I wouldn't.
But they told you a lot of fabricated lies. And then you start saying, well, how dare somebody take all that from the people?
Right. Why would they do
Why would they
this?
do that? And then you get down and be like,
Right. And I got to thinking, well, I don't see my pastor with no big shiny new truck. Well, they couldn't have took all that money, because I know Pastor Hill ain't no fool. It just didn't make sense once you start and to sit down and think about it.
we brought lawyers in from Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Los Angeles to come in and explain the water crisis settlement. We were blessed enough to have the arbitrator who arbitrated between the state and us to come to Flint and explain the water crisis settlement. They were in the room. They heard him when he said the concerned pastors will receive no compensation. None.
No compensation.
None.
Okay.
No compensation.
Okay.
The lawyers will get paid. And if they didn't want to pay the lawyers, I had to fight to get our lawyers paid.
Wow.
He said, but the concerned pastor will receive no compensation. Next thing I know, I was in Detroit. Each one of y'all got $200,000, right? Where mine at?
Right.
I got some bills I have to pay.
Right.
I'm still putting this stuff on loan. So let me try to get some of this stuff paid. Here you get your money.
I'm still making payments too.
Right, because I thought I was gonna see brand new Escalade. You
Don't
still
say
had
that. I
to
got
say,
an Escalade. Don't say that.
don't say that. Okay, I ain't gonna say that.
I'm paying for it.
You paying for it though, but you paid cash for it, didn't you?
I wish I could. No, I wish
Tamika,
I
do we
could.
have anything from the audience? Mickey? I guess not. Any questions from the audience? Okay. All right. Last words. Let's wrap it up. Last words. If you could get that final message out before the primary to the community of Flint, what would it be?
My last words to the community of Flint is simply do your homework. Know who you're voting for and what you're voting for. And in the end, vote your interests.
Okay.
Vote what benefits you.
I'm gonna say vote for Karen Weaver. That's what I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna say that too. If you vote your interest, you can't help but vote for Karen.
All right now.
Because your interest is that your community will thrive and do better. We've seen what the other candidate have done. See, it's different. You can tell a lot of lies when you haven't ran, when you haven't set the seed. He said it there. He sat there now.
One more question before we do our wrap up. That $300 credit, Do you think that was a slap in the face that he was trying to give out?
Again, I'm a hoodwink y'all. I'm a
Uh-huh.
hoodwink you. I'm gonna
I'm a
play you
trick.
like a sucker,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna give you $300. Y'all gonna say, "Ooh, he the greatest thing since Ice-T." I'm voting for him because he gave me $300.
Mhm.
I just had one of my parishioners drop their phone getting out of my car. I said, "Come on, son, let's go up here and get you a new phone." He don't owe me nothing. I did it because I love him, and I did it because I needed him to have a phone when I called him to do some work.
Right.
So I went and bought him another phone. We cannot allow people to hoodwink us and trick us with $300.
Right, because Pastor Overton, I believe if you could do it now, you could have did it last May when you first received the money.
Bro, I wasn't gonna say that, but that's all
I'm
true.
just saying.
All those things are true, and again, those are things that we do to make it look like I care about you.
Mm.
See, I care about you now.
It's election year.
I need you.
Yeah.
Anybody care about you now that's running up for office
Mhm.
because I need you. But once I don't need you,
Yeah.
once I don't need you,
I throw you to the wayside.
I mean, we had a mayor. This is for church folks.
This for church folks.
We had a mayor that would bring pastors to City Hall. He said, "Sit down, let me tell y'all what's going on.
Really?
Let me tell y'all, so you don't have to wonder. This is what's going on. This is why I have to do this. This is why I have to do that. This is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing that." She would explain to us what was going on. I mean, she'd bring 30 pastors down there.
Open door.
Open door.
Walk in.
Okay. Now, that's not happening. And if it's happening, they don't invite me.
Mm.
Because again, if you're talking about unity, you bring people that don't agree with you.
Right.
I like for people who don't agree because I believe if you don't agree with me, we can sit down and disagree to agree. Or I can show you what I'm doing and I can change you. If you show me what you're doing, you can change. If you ain't doing nothing.
Mhm.
But I'm talking about people that lie to your face.
Yeah. Look at you and tell you that it's dark. It's pitch black dark outside
Them lights
right
are
now.
not them lights are not shining in your face.
Mhm.
I'm like, what? I'm looking at
I'm looking, but no, you're not looking at them lights shining because the light's not on. I'm telling you, I understand. I totally get it.
So we have to look at the records of the candidates.
Mhm.
Mayor Weaver did us a service. Mayor Neely has done us a service. Look at what the job they've done.
Mhm.
You know, look at the job they've done. I travel across the country. The number one question I hear all the time: how did y'all let that lady get put out of office?
Wow.
How did y'all let that lady lose? What happened? What happened in Flint that lady lost? What happened? I mean, what happened? The world sees our champion. We must see her the same way the world sees her.
Absolutely.
The world sees her as a champion.
Absolutely.
We have to see her the same way.
Absolutely.
We have to elevate her
Amen.
and allow her
Yes, sir.
to do the things that I believe that God has called her to do.
I think I'm not gonna say I think, I know because she's told me that she's had the past 2.5 years to sit back and just reflect and look at everything, look at the things that she could have done differently.
Mm-hmm.
And she's ready. I mean, you have to love Flint to come back and put up with all of this that she's going through.
Well,
There's got to be some love there.
She don't have to.
Cause she didn't have to come back at all. She was fine. Speaking engagements, I mean, Dr. Weaver she's still fine.
There's something about the love, real Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you're a real Flintstone, there's something that just picks at you.
It's
It's
that
It's
love.
DNA, man.
Yeah,
It's the DNA.
yeah, and she got it.
She got it.
Everybody don't have it now, but she got it.
And it would be a sad day if this city fails and dies and the autopsy report comes back and say we had a healthy heart, but there was no blood getting through the veins. And that's what we're looking at now. It can't all stop at the heart. You're pumping, but it ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And the answer is in our hands. That's how we get it move forward. And you say, what direction are we taking? It's going to take the people.
What's going to take?
It's going to take a strong message from the church because I still believe that the church is strong in the community.
Oh, I believe that.
You know, very, very strong. The church building itself may not be packed. It probably will never be packed because there's so many ways to attend church virtual, but people are still paying attention and it's still
That's
that
right.
yearning for leadership. And I thank you, pastors, for coming on today.
Thank
I
you for
thank you
having
so
me on the
much.
show.
Thank you, Pastor Hill, Pastor O,
Thank you so much.
Moderator
Bless your
Overton,
heart. Bless your heart.
moderator,
Pray
and
for
my
me.
first vice. This is my pastor. Hey, this is the pastor right here. I love him so much. What time does your church start on Sundays if someone is looking for a church home?
Listen, the best place to be on Sunday morning is at 11 a.m. at Christ Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church, located 317 East Hamilton Avenue. I promise you, there is a church there that's changing the lives of people, that's evangelizing a community, that's trying to set the captives free. Come and join us. We'd love to have you there.
Amen, amen. And I was gonna, I always plug my church, my Episcopal, but since my pastor's here today, Pastor, please tell them what time we start.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
every Sunday morning.
Every Sunday.
And G6415 North Cloud Road, Mount Morris. And we're there to meet you and greet you each week with love and fellowship. And that's what it's all about, love and fellowship.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I thank my A10 Media News Group, and also check out Satira. She has a wonderful lineup all of next week. You don't want to miss it. Monday through Friday, she's on each day. And then next Thursday, I have the one, the only, the fabulous queen herself, the former Mayor, Dr. Karen Weaver, back on. We're going to sit down and we're going to have the truth and the tea next Thursday at 6 o'clock. Don't miss us. Thank you.